Evening, the chair here on STV Real TV. You know, as we count down the days, the hours, the minutes, the time to when we all go to stain our finger come Monday, it's interesting to look at the level of creativity, of course, ideas and concepts that came out throughout this entire general election. In spite of all the fights and the rhetoric and the bacchanal and the scandal, to use the Americanized term, we did have, for want of a better phrase, a really creative approach by all parties involved to get the message out, to create a different kind of interest, to stir up attention. They found some very interesting and innovative ways. But before we get to chatting about that, let's continue from where we left off and get back to the scandal of the scandal of the scandal. Mr. Shane Mohammed, the panel, let's go, folks.
Shane Mohammed, Renako Williams, good night. All right, let's do this. All right, my question to you is, now I heard you say earlier that you feel confident that the Prime Minister is going to win, right, the election, right? Now we have seen a drastic decline in her ratings over the years, right? We have seen scandals, as we said earlier, right? We have seen her face 4 elections, which is the local government, the Tobago clean sweep. We have had St. Joseph, the Shogunas. None has been won. After all of this, and in addition as well, we see a sort of desperate attempt by the government now to sort of woo votes, emails coming in, phone calls. I get a lot of phone calls and emails that I, of course, decline, right? But why all that emphasis, right? If you all believe that you are going to win this election, why? And do you really think after all of that, you all are going to win these elections?
Yes.
I don't expect it to say no, but honestly, yes. There has been a drastic decline.
Okay. So, okay, what you're asking me, why the need for all the...
Why do you think, and why do you feel so confident that you all are still going to win?
Because, Renako, the elections that you talk about, right, you have to think, okay, the elections of 2010 gave a certain level of expectation by the people of Trinidad and Tobago in an individual. When the government came into the office and they assessed and looked at what were the resources they had, they found that in some instances you had to create a plan, you had to fix what needed to be fixed, you needed to complete what needed to be completed. Whatever unfinished business was left by the PNM.
But I feel as your answer.
No. I'm telling you all of that because we're talking about a 5-year period.
Okay.
Governments don't always go on a high for 5 years. There's going to be dips, there's going to be highs, there are going to be lows. Let's be real.
But,
right?
the way that the Prime Minister makes it out is that she's on a high. I mean, we have been seeing hospitals being opened up, unfinished fire stations. I mean, there have been so much of different things that have been, she's painting this perfect picture, right? So I'm just trying to understand, why wouldn't, you still think that after all of that, you all still have the edge,
Truth is, Renako, is that the government has performed. And the government has performed because look at Diego Martin Highway. Look at the school at the Point Kumana Highway, the Point Kumana RC School. Hold on. Look at the Carenage Health Facility that my ministry was responsible for constructing. Look at the Couva Children's Hospital and the equipment that we've been able to put there. Hold on. Look at the Tobago Cath Lab that we've been able to put in for Tobago, which was not in Tobago for many, many years. Tobagonians used to have to be flown to Trinidad.
And I would say kudos to all of that, I would say kudos. But these are basic things that the government is supposed to put in place for the people.
It's basic, yes, I agree with you. Why didn't the PNM do it if it was so basic between
who said the PNM didn't do it?
I just want to jump in here
real quick. At a very minimal level.
I just want to jump in here real quick. When you said my ministry, what do you mean?
I work at the Ministry of Health.
Okay, as a...
Communication, the head of communication.
Is that a political appointment?
What difference does it make?
It makes a difference because you've served in the United National Congress for so long, and I'm asking whether it's a political appointment or not because I'm trying to ascertain whether there was any favoritism going on.
When I have had a regular job from 2010 to 2014, and I served in the contract, and the contract expired, and I was looking at options, and the option came where I could have gotten an opportunity to serve in a more in a leadership role, 1, based on my competencies, 2, based on my qualifications, 3, and the need for someone to drive the communications for the ministry. And yes, I took the appointment on the recommendation of the minister. It is a contract for 1 year.
Okay, so this is not initially where I was going to ask the question, but since we're on this topic, the hospitals recently opened, the Children's Hospital and the Carenage Health Center. Are those functioning? I mean, I know there was a nice, brilliant ribbon cutting. Rain might have washed out one, but is it functioning?
Okay, the Carenage Health Facility. The Carenage Health, the Carenage Health Facility. There's been the handover. They are going to be moving the staff into the new Carenage Health Facility. It should be an ongoing process as we speak now. The Couva Children's Hospital, we have the equipment. The equipment came with the arrangements for the hospital. What is going to happen is it's going to have to be phased because, 1, there are specialist positions that need to be filled. Those need to be advertised. You don't
think that should have been done? The doctors for the hospital should have been done before the ribbon cutting of the hospital?
You see, you can't you first have to get the building. You must first know what you're getting with the building if we've gotten the equipment. In the arrangements that was made between the government of China and the government of Trinidad and Tobago, there were certain requirements which they provided. The rest is up to us. There's going to be there's a commissioning team in place which is going to deal with stuff like the procurement of furniture, tables and chairs and whatnot that comes with it, and then the hiring process, which has to be advertised for people to apply for.
But if you think that you're so sure that you're going to win, then why cut the ribbon 5 days, 6 days before the election? Why not wait until after? If you're so certain, or is it an election ploy to cut the ribbon just before election so that you win?
No, no, you can't. You can't try to win an election by cutting a ribbon, Richard.
But it seems that this week
we win an election because we built the hospital.
But fail to fill it. But fail to fill it with the equipment and the doctors.
The fact of the matter remains that there is a hospital standing ready to be commissioned. Was that?
With no doctors. That's what he said.
Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. The petitions have to be advertised.
But then how are we so sure that it will be standing? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that an inspection for a hospital has failed by this administration.
Okay, I will say this.
I'm going to, before you continue, I'm going to also throw in the Mayaro fire station in it.
Yes.
I saw a picture on Facebook where the R fell off. Now, that's what we see on the outside. Obviously, the general public is not allowed to go inside, but how are we so certain that other parts of the building aren't falling off inside the building?
I'm going to be candid here, Richard, okay? Thank God the R from your name has not fallen off. Okay?
No, it's going to stay there for a very long time.
But okay, the fact remains is, Richard, we've built the hospital. We've built the hospital, and as Brendan rightfully say, there has to be a process to follow by which we can do the hiring and the procurement of the furniture and whatever else needs to be done. The fact remains that a hospital has been built and it's going to be commissioned in a matter of about 2 months' time. 1. The fact remains, we've built the San Fernando Teaching Hospital, furnished it, and we have filled it with beds and people and doctors and specialist equipment. The Mayaro Hospital, Mayaro Fire Station, sorry, I know the R fell off. I apologize for the R falling off. I really am sorry that the R fell off. I don't know how the R fell off, but let's put the... No.
You're misunderstanding. I'm saying, how are we so certain that these buildings are safe? If what we are seeing on the outside can fall off, what about the inside?
Because I don't think we hired irresponsible people to build the hospital and the fire station.
But it would not be the first time. The bridge at St. Joseph failed inspection. Something in Mount Hope failed inspection. I asked Dr. Fordkan when he was here about that as well. I mean, so to say that you're hoping something doesn't happen because you didn't hire irresponsible people, that seems kind of vague.
I don't know. I didn't say that I was hoping. I'm saying that the process, and I'm confident that the process by which we used to whatever we did to hire these people that was used to build the hospital was not going to be subservient and substandard. What I'm saying is confident in the process by which we went about building these institutions that the country needed. And I'm confident that these institutions, not surpassing the fact that the R fell off, right, is going to stand up and it's going to pass inspection as you alluded to.
And you don't think it should have passed inspection before the ribbon cutting?
You can't, okay, you can pass inspection and the R will still fall off.
Not if it was built properly.
No, the R is an installation, it's a screw.
Okay, that's supposing the other installations inside the building didn't fall off. But wait, I think we're getting a little carried away. I want to ask a question that I really took the mic to ask. You spoke earlier to Brendan about the ad going on TV. You said the UNC has nothing to do with the People's Partnership, have nothing to do with it. Is it difficult to ascertain the bill that paid for the ad?
I can't answer that question.
Why not?
I don't know who paid for it.
That's what I'm trying to ascertain. Somebody paid for the ad under some NGO, probably under some individual's
Well,
names.
my friend, I invite you to find whoever that person is. I don't know.
No, I'm not in government. Okay, let me ask you this.
Well, what does that have to do with governance?
Let me ask,
what does
because
that have to do with being in
CNMG
government?
is government owned.
Yes, but that doesn't
And
mean
the ad ran on CNMG.
that doesn't mean that CNMG's only client is the government.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is because it's government owned, doesn't it have a duty? Doesn't a duty befall the ruling party to say, well, it's not us that paid for the ad, but look the evidence here. I mean, Rudal Munilal seems very, very quaint to bring out personal documents for the PNM member candidate Faris Al-Rawi, to bring out his personal documents, something I have no idea how he acquired, to say that his address is XYZ. When he purchased a vehicle. One, I'm not going to get into how he obtained that document, but two, if he can obtain that document from a ministry or wherever, what is the problem with finding out who signed the check for CNMG to run that OBA ad?
Post the question to Rudal Miller and hear what he says.
No, but I'm asking you as a member of the UNC.
Why are you asking
Because
me?
Unfortunately, Rudal Munilal didn't come, he sent you.
Right, but okay, but Richard, the fact remains is this. I don't know who paid for the check. The check, anybody, Freedom of Information Act allows you to find out whoever paid for it. And if any political party, it's a free country, it's a democracy, anybody is open under the Freedom of Information Act to go and find who paid for it.
Okay,
and
but I'm saying, the question, the electorate has asked. The electorate has come out and asked who owns the ad. Yes, there are some people who are jumping to the conclusion and saying it's the UNC paying for the ad. I'm saying, instead of Kamala Prasad Visesa mounting a platform and saying it's not me, I was not there, which she's very accustomed doing, instead of her saying that, why not bring evidence to say, look, the check is here, it really wasn't me, I really wasn't there. Why hide the evidence?
I don't think it's a matter of hiding the evidence. There are greater issues out there that we need to discuss, Richard.
Okay, thanks, Richard and Shane. Good night, Shane. I'm Kieran Ramson from Princeton constituency.
Good to have Princeton in the house.
It's a question that piggybacks off one of the questions I was asked earlier. So you could probably help me understand, if you were a nominee for Princeton constituency, candidate for Princeton constituency, and you went up for screening again for a candidate, right? How could you take someone from another constituency and be placed in the Princeton constituency, right, and be given that role than someone who actually is a nominee of the constituency, who knows the problems that people from the constituency have? What advantage does he have?
That's the fluidity of politics. The fluidity of politics does not say the constitution and the laws that govern the selection of a candidate does not say that a candidate has to come from his constituency. A candidate is also based on his competencies. A candidate is built on his ability to be able to respond to the needs of the citizens. The fact remains is the prerogative lies with the screening committee and the leadership of a political party to choose who, in their opinion, is the best person for the candidate, for the seat.
Shane, well, I think there's no problem with that, but a nominee from the constituency, you could choose between many nominees from the constituency. How could a person outside the constituency have that advantage still?
Sometimes it's a situation where the person who is in the situation For example, a person who is sitting and living in the constituency may not be able to see with an objective eye the needs and the failures and the successes of a constituency as compared to someone who's looking in from outside. And because the current candidate for Princestown lived outside of Princestown, and he's able to probably in his own capacity compare Princestown to his own hometown of Couva, he would be able to see for himself from an outside perspective what are the needs, the deficiencies, and the wants of the constituency of Princestown. And that is the fluidity of politics.
Hi, good night. Shawns Marie Andrews from Take Back TT. My question is kind of based on your background in international relations, right? What actionable plans or policies would you like to see being done to strengthen CARICOM, especially since we've had this disaster happening in Dominica? Even though it's election season, what has the government been doing in order to assist the people of CARICOM?
Okay. I'll first give you the answer from a governmental perspective. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has given to the government of Dominica it's the resources in the form of military equipment. For example, the choppers that they need because there's no runway, there's no place for a plane to land. They've given them some of the Coast Guard vessels because that's the only way that they can enter the island. And that we've also sent our human and physical resources to the people of Dominica to help with regard to aid and medicine and medical assistance. That is one way that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has assisted. Your second question with regard to my background in international relations, in everything there's politics. Politics plays a role in everything that we do, how we live as a country, how we live as a region, how we live as a global village. And from my own, and this is a personal view, from my own studies in international relations, I have found that the CARICOM is made up of countries that are, one, developing, or in some instances, underdeveloped. And therefore, there is, in this global village, a rush to serve its own purpose. Each individual country is serving itself because there are different needs and wants. No particular Caribbean country has these similar problems. You may find that the countries of the Lesser Antilles or the Eastern Caribbean, they face the same problems because they may not have the minerals and resources as Trinidad and Tobago or as Jamaica. They may not flourish from having good tourism as a result of the Bahamas. But the fact remains is, until CARICOM leaders stop thinking individualistically and they start thinking about themselves in a region, then CARICOM will go forward in a particular direction. Now that's only from me telling you theoretical, what I've learned from theory. It doesn't take away from the fact that I would love to see CARICOM grow. I would love to see CARICOM grow internationally and become competitive. CARICOM is part of the ACP, and I would love to see a member of the CARICOM chair the ACP. Well, I think a member of the CARICOM is chairing the ACP, but I would love to see more people from the CARICOM take leading roles in the world, in the different General Secretary of the Commonwealth and all the other organizations that we are part of. But then it all has to do with CARICOM thinking in a regional format and not just individualistically.
Very interesting, the response there, of course, showing your prowess in international relations in a very thorough and complete way.
Thank you.
We got to take a break right now. Remember, we do have a second edition of The Chair coming up a little later on this evening, and the leader of the ILP is expected to be sitting in the chair for the second round of the show, and I guess we will, of course, continue. This is our final episode for the entire season, folks, and of course, we're trying our very best to make it very, very special. So stick around. We're coming back with more of Shane Mohammed after this break.
Rise up, falling suffrage. Rise and take your stand.
The following is a paid